Port St. Lucie has gotten a little on the expensive side here over the last couple years since the pandemic. So what does that mean and what is next? You know, there's a lot of uncertainty in the housing market. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Now we got a new president. Who knows? But here's the one thing I do know. Every day, Port St. Lucie is expanding. And the one thing that many people don't want to talk about is Fort Pierce is part of St. Lucie County, okay? Today, we are going to explore maybe the possibility of some of you who are priced out in Port St. Lucie to buying a home in Fort Pierce. My name is Jonathan B.J. Hayes, local realtor here in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thank you for returning back to the home of Port St. Lucie Real Estate. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the videos, like the videos, and tell a friend about the wonderful things going on here in beautiful Port St. Lucie. Anybody who's interested in buying a home or selling a home here in Port St. Lucie, all my information is in the description below. So yes, I said it. Port St. Lucie is getting pretty expensive. And I know there's a lot of you out there who feel like you're just flat out priced out. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about an option, and that option is Fort Pierce. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room before we get started. A lot of people out there have this bad connotation about Fort Pierce. Oh, there's crime, there's gangs, there's this, there's that. You are absolutely right. And as a whole, it is isolated to small little pockets in Fort Pierce that they are trying to get cleaned up. With that said, you're missing the big picture here. Fort Pierce has some of the most beautiful real estate in the whole United States. If you go all the way to the east, of course, you have Hutchinson Island, you have the water, you have the beaches. It's awesome. If you go to the west, you've got huge acreage properties, houses that sit on oversized lots. Not to mention, guys, a lot of you may not know, the next huge expansion that's going to take place in Port St. Lucie, it's going to be in Fort Pierce off of Midway Road. So I suggest a lot of you, if you're looking to move here still and you feel like you're priced out, start thinking a little bit about Fort Pierce, because there are some wonderful and great areas that are available. It's just much more affordable at this point, and it's going to continue to grow. The other thing we're going to talk about is things to do in Fort Pierce. So I can tell you that a lot of younger people who do live here, when I say younger, I mean late 20s, mid 30s, that are looking for stuff to do, that don't want to go all the way to either West Palm or Fort Lauderdale or Miami to hang out, to have a good evening. They hang out in Fort Pierce. There's a lot of different places in Fort Pierce, craft bar places, arts and cultural diversity that is offered in Fort Pierce that you just don't get in Port St. Lucie. So you have a lot of that. The other thing also is, outside of that, job growth and development. So if you look at a lot of what is going on in Fort Pierce, there's a lot of industrial plants being put there. Now, I know you say, oh, I don't want to work in an industrial plant or whatever. The thing that you guys don't seem to realize is people who do things with their hands are beginning to make money, and that's only going to accelerate. The U.S. as a nation is lazy and don't want to work. Those of you who are willing to get their hands dirty a little bit, you're going to start making a decent amount of money. All right. And that's not just here. That's going to be all across the U.S. So Fort Pierce is bringing a lot of jobs. They're bringing more opportunities, and it's only going to grow, guys. Remember, Port St. Lucie has gotten very saturated. If you take a look, for a lot of you that have lived here a long time, There's not a lot of empty lots anymore. Everything has been built on. Next stop, Fort Pierce. I'm telling you. So if you want to learn more about Fort Pierce, opportunities that are there, all my information is in the description below, guys. And the last point I'll make, especially if you're coming from outside of the area, people ask all the time, where are all the beaches in Port St. Lucie? We don't have any beaches. When you live in Fort Pierce, you are closer to the beach, you're closer to the water, you're closer to the fun. Just keep that in mind. If anybody has any further questions, all my information is in the description below. This is Realtor Jonathan B.J. Hayes. Till the next time we speak, everybody stay safe, be blessed. Would you agree that change is inevitable? What goes up must go down. What goes right must go left. I know we don't like change because change is hard, change hurts, change is different, it gets us out of our comfort zone, but at the end of the day, all we do is fight against it, and the change happens anyway. What I'm trying to tell you here is, there's going to be some areas that many of you don't think about right now as good or exciting, but in the near future, there's going to be some great opportunities, and those places that you weren't too keen on are going to be the next big boom. And I tell you this because there's going to be some changes going on, and there's a lot beginning to go on in Fort Pierce, and now may be that time for you to jump on board while you can. So today we are going to discuss what I call the winds of change. Port St. Lucie is awesome. I love it. It's where I call home. But just remember, Fort Pierce is also in St. Lucie County.